I want to address this white thing, anti-white. The guy pointed out the right thing. You understand what I'm talking about when I talk about cultural Marxism, right? You see, communists could never sell communism to real Americans because communism, you need people to be in regular poverty and misery and starving and breadlines, and Americans simply don't live that way. Our poor don't. But we did have something else here. We had a real race thing, feminist thing, LGBTQ. We had these little parts of our society that Americans inherently didn't like. They felt icky about. So what they did was they simply changed the communist language from this class warfare thing to race warfare, gender warfare, orientation warfare. So understand this. Yes, it is being institutionalized across every American institution that America is evil, white people are inherently bad, and this is all disgusting and wrong, and it is dangerous, and it is racist. I'm not saying it's not. It's terrible. It's wrong. It's dangerous. But the whole feminist movement, civil rights movement now, not the greats, but the way it exists now, the LGBTQ, whatever the letters are at this point in time, these are all just mostly unwitting front groups to usher in the same communism that communism has always been under a different label. And when I say this is in every single American institution, you have to understand something. Yeah, I just showed you a little clip from MSNBC of them talking about it. Well, you're not going to look at that and think anything of it. It's MSNBC. Of course they're going to be nutballs. This is in the cultural institutions you always thought you could trust. We have a 60-day stand down in the American military so we can look into white nationalism. This is in your kids' schools. This is in your churches.
To get at that tree, you've got to address white supremacy. And more particularly, you've got to address the white supremacy that has pervaded the church to a large degree throughout its history. I'm getting all my life from Christ. See, that I don't have to be trying to get it from my whiteness or from my rightness. And in this country, those two have too often been synonymous. To be white is right.
I'm going to go ahead and hold back because this is a family show on how angry that makes me. That's Greg Boyd. He's a pastor at Woodland Hills Church. I would just simply say if you are a member of that church, turn around and run out the door and never look back again. That's disgusting and wrong, but Mr. Greg Boyd of Woodland Hills Church is not alone. The same thing happened to me. This is happening across the United States of America. This is an infection with America's Christianity, and that's why the cultural Marxists did it. They knew America's Christian nature, giving nature, love everybody nature, the basics of Christianity in America. They knew it could be manipulated and abused, so eventually they could get to a point where churches like this guy's, they're actually working against themselves. What do you think these people will do when they finally take over? Do you think they're going to be nice to Greg Boyd at Woodland Hills Church because he was one of the white guys who talked about how guilty he was? Or do you think he's going to get marched off first to the gulags with the rest of us? Wake up. Wake up. And this is everywhere now. Everywhere now. You don't believe me? This is a person in New York City. I'm not making this up. Quote, "My school is requiring us to discuss our whiteness and how we, quote, spirit murder our black and brown children every day because we can't see their black joy and black humanity. I am told I have to participate in this. It seems wrong to come at it from this angle. I know and see the effects of systemic racism all the time, but I know I'm not part of that." See, that's the problem too. I see the effects of systemic racism all the time. We've ingrained this in the American mind so much, it infects the left and the right. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me, like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.